In the mid-1950s, because of the flavor and aroma of its beans, Costa Rica was recognized as one of the best coffee producers in the world. The quality of the beans was excellent, but each coffee grower was in dire need of a partner in order to become one of the greatest exporters of quality coffee in the world. As a result, in 1949, a unique love story between Land Rover and Costa Rican Cafe began. The first adventurous coffee growers who dared to change their traditional ox carts for the Land Rover found from the beginning the partner they so desperately needed to improve their productivity without losing a single grain of coffee at each harvest. The size and functionality of the Land Rover was ideal to venture into the trails within the coffee groves without sacrificing a single shrub or bean. Their power and resistance qualified them to transport cartloads of the precious cargo. And their power and off-road traction allowed them to work. Even to this day, in the rugged and difficult terrain so distinctive of the fertile regions bearing the best mountain coffee in the world. Naranjo is a small community with barely 37,000 residents, a land of hard-working men and women who carefully and proudly cultivate premium coffee. A marvelous landscape. A difficult terrain with a diverse climate, and simple and hard-working folk have made Naranjo the ideal area for the 4x4 Land Rover. And throughout 50 years of history, this vehicle has become an additional member of the family.
A person can pick more or less 20 bushels of coffee. For each bushel, you get 300 colones. You can earn between 6,000 and 9,000 colones a day. Picking coffee for some people can be good business. Even here on our farm, people have left with their school or have earned money picking coffee to pay for their studies. And now they have a profession or even their own business. When these kids are on vacation, their task is to pick coffee to help their families. There are kids who even pick up to 6 or 7 bushels of coffee. Here we used to work with 2 oxen, a team of oxen, right? And an ox cart. And the amount of coffee harvested grew only because of a car, a Land Rover. And here we are picking and harvesting the crop. Oxen are slow-moving beasts. They came in, made 1 trip, 2, 3, and that was it. And we worked until 10 o'clock at night. That is why the Land Rover was a godsend. Well, it's an all-terrain vehicle. You can load it on any road, and we always hauled coffee, even on bad roads. We've even hauled 40,000 seedlings from the nursery.
That Land Rover has taken us everywhere for a ride. That day there were 15 of us in the car. And we always got where we were going. It never failed. You see other cars, but definitely that Land Rover has real power, and they're very pretty. We have always lived from harvesting coffee. This car has hauled all of our coffee crops. My husband loves it the most, and I think that since Juan Felix loves old things so much, he's never going to get rid of the car or of me.
More than just vehicles, the Land Rovers in Naranjo are seen as partners in executing the tough, strong, and courageous work. Not only do they bear the heavy loads, but they also transport it from the most remote corners of the mountains to the coffee receivers, where they proudly deliver every grain of coffee worth its weight in gold.
This is a Model 49, 1949, and it still works. It still hauls coffee. Since then, I work on these cars with a lot of success, and I have seen the changes, the improvements in the Land Rover. Their reduction, their towing power, the savings, they're long-lasting. Many factors that are difficult to find in another brand. Many people look for a Land Rover when they have heavy work in a land such as the one you see here. Very uneven, right? Because with the oxen, you could haul only small cargoes, barely, what can I say, 12 or 1,500 pounds. But now with the Land Rover, it's 4 times as much. In fact, as you can see, it has been here more than half a century, and it's in prime condition.
Nowhere on the planet can more loyal and die-hard fans come together as in Naranjo Park whenever a new model is exhibited. Of course they are diehards. They've grown up side by side. They have it in their blood. In Naranjo alone, with a mere 126 square kilometers, there are more than 800 Land Rovers, which even today continue to transport one of the most prestigious coffees in the world. Even today, one of the most enduring traditions takes place at the end of the harvest season, when all coffee growers organize an impressive and colorful caravan that ends up at the front steps of the local church. Here the country priest blesses not only their harvest, but the Land Rovers as well, just as in olden times when the oxen were blessed. Likewise, the coffee growers provide offerings to the church as a token of their appreciation.
Here, we always get up at 4 in the morning or 4:30. and we get ready to go to work at 6 in the morning. Because maybe some of us have coffee plantations about 1 or 2 kilometers from our homes. And from there we return for lunch at 12:30. And we come back at 8 or 9 when it's time to go to sleep. We lead a very homey life, very wholesome. It makes us live very happily. We share more time with our families, right? With our kids. It's not a busy life, not the hustle and bustle of the city, where you live in constant activity, right? On the contrary, we live here more peacefully, more patient. Our lives don't revolve around the clock. We have a season for sowing, to care for our plantations, to harvest, so we live without being aware of the time. In peace, and without the anxiety of the hustle and bustle. This car is a 1969. It has a 78 engine. It's been in the family more than 20 years. This engine, it used to have a diesel engine. We put in a regular gas engine with a Range Rover carburetor. Those are things you can do easily in this type of car. Everyone in the family spoils the car. As I was saying, I'm 100% Land Rover-esque. I like the brand very much. It's an excellent brand, so much so that, look here, I have a Land Rover label in my cap. I put it there, and it didn't come like this. Look, I also have a Land Rover brand on my belt. For me, everything Land Rover is worth it. This is a 72.
And now, as a tribute to all Costa Rican coffee growers who with so much effort, work, and sacrifice purchased our vehicles to turn them into more than just a means of transportation. As a tribute to the veteran Land Rovers, which arrived in Costa Rica many years ago, and even today are still working, and naturally, in honor of that exquisite coffee, whose unrivaled aroma and flavor embraces a history of teamwork and fondness between man and machine. Today, we wish to share with the world our distinctive coffee, brimming with the taste of good folk and honest work, a tough and uncompromising terrain, a beautiful and peaceful country, and a powerful and committed vehicle which became a part of this great family. Land Rover Cafe, a heritage of tradition and good taste.